And he let us grow into a grand empire. But along the way, the politicians created wrong rules, led us in the wrong directions. And Yahweh has allowed it until now, and he is now calling the case. He's pleading the case. Therefore you will give a parting gift to Moretzgat, the house of Achaz, will be a deceitful thing to the kings of Israel. See, a gift is a deceitful thing in politics. At any level. It don't make any difference. And in business, a gift is a deceitful thing because it's a bribe. You know, they even got laws against bribery that they try to prosecute people for, and most of them are minuscule upside of what's going on in the court that's issuing the judgment. If you got enough money, you can get things done, they say. And that's basically what the attitude people have in these countries. But Yahweh wants Israel to be humble and Israel to come to their senses. He wants Israel to give him the due that he's asking for. He said, I will yet bring to you, inhabitant of Mareshah, he who is the glory of Israel will come to Adullam. Now this seems like that it's speaking of Messiah when he came, but it could be he's speaking of Messiah when he comes back. And we're expecting him to return shortly. Shave your head and cut off your hair for the children of your delight. Enlarge your baldness like the eagle, for they have gone into captivity from you. He's speaking to Israel at different stages. But he charges the people in things that they should know and do. The next verse, well, let's go to chapter 2 and verse 1. It'll be the next verse of Micah. Woe to those who devise iniquity and work evil in their beds. Woe to these politicians. Woe to these bureaucrats. Woe to these people who are in charge. Government has to be enforced, and it's enforced at every level. And of course everybody can justify enforcement because people just going to be speeders if they got a car. They're going to get drunk if they have a drinking habit. They're going to do all kind of things. They're going to beat their children if they got an opportunity because they're too unruly. So they got to have rulership. And they devise iniquity all the way up to the highest level of government. He says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is the power of their hand. They covet fields. Now this is one of the things that the government has done. They coveted the fields of all of the farmers, and they now are considered the largest landowner in the United States. They covet all of this and they turn them into national parks. And after they get them well established, people go and pay the few pennies to go in and see them. And now it's got to where you can't even hardly go to a park because they close them. They're in charge. They can do what they want to. You can't break a leaf off of a tree. You can't pick up a stone out of the the walkway, because it's illegal. So if you walk in and walk out, you bring the dust off your feet, you're a felon or a violator. So why go to a park? But the point is, the fields were coveted by the higher power, and they seized them. Did you know that we have more land in the Gulf of Mexico called that they got them for habitat. They won't let us fish in those areas. They're closed areas is what they're nursery areas, they're habitat areas, they got all kind of names. And anyway, they're seized land, and if we drift into those, we get a fine from $1,500 up to $60,000, according to what they can charge us with. So you have to be real careful to where you are when you're going. We have to have electronic navigation on all of fishing boats because you can't keep up with it naturally. And we have what they call VMS, vessel monitoring systems, so they can watch us go in and watch us come out. And we're supposed to have the technology to keep us from going in and going out because they want to fine us. And it comes from the coveting the fields, and they seize them, and they seize the houses, and they take them away, and they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. We had one boat, the guy put his line out just off of the flower gardens in Texas, and he was about, he said 5 miles from the line, and they decided they would cook and eat, and they kicked the thing out of gear and stopped and cooked a meal and had dinner. It took about an hour and a half, and during the time the wind and the tide drifted them into that area, and when he realized he turned around and come back out. But they saw it on the satellite, and they got him charged with a fine that's going to be up to $60,000 for fishing in the closed area. Well, if you're going to eat on a boat, you need to know where you're drifting. You need to know where you're going, and you need to be anchored or whatever. But anyway, that's just one of the things that happens because this is not, fishing is not the only thing that they're doing this with. They're doing it with land. It's all over the country. They're wanting to have enough land that in case something really happens, that the higher up politicians will have a place to grow them something to eat when the common man starves and it really gets bad and we have the riots. They want to take the guns away. They want to do all of the stuff that would be embodied in this thing. He said, therefore, says Yahweh, behold, I am planning against these people a disaster. Think about that. This people is having a disaster planned by our Creator, and they don't even recognize it yet. Most of the people who should be preaching it to the congregation so they would be aware of it are oblivious to it because they want to preach a doctrine that feel good, and you're going to get well if you send me an offering and just give me your tithes and offerings and you're going to be blessed. Entertainment religion. But this disaster is coming, just like the one in Japan is coming. And it don't have to be another flood. There's plenty of things that Yahweh can do. See, down in, I think it was New Zealand, y'all saw it on the TV, where all of the fish died in this bay system down there and floated up. And they're still bailing fish that died up and trying to haul them out of that place. And simply what happened was that the herring started